but the scope of what you can't talk about amongst yourselves is very narrow. It's directed just to anything relating to the defense, legal defense in court of the charter amendments that you've got. Otherwise, speaking about either things that didn't go on the ballot, things that were talked about and nothing was done, or things that went on the ballot, you can after June 14th. So with that guidance, I hope y'all have some thoughts on that. Any further questions, y'all are always welcome to reach out to me if you have any concerns about any of that.
Any questions? Seeing none, we understand. In other words, we can talk about the issues on the ballot, but if something comes up in litigation, we're prohibited from discussing that between members. Does that mean technically we could be called back into session?
Hypothetically, it's happened in Orange County in the past. It's happened in other counties in the past, and that would be solely directed to directing what to do in litigation if the CRC is a party. The CRC is not a party, doesn't have anything to do with that.
Okay, thank you. And the other item for cleanup is I'm just going to discuss a little.
I have a question.
Question, Member Harris.
I received an email from, I think, a few weeks ago.
Your mic.
I'm sorry. I received an email, I think it was a month ago or 3 weeks ago, about some form of financial disclosure being on the board.
Oh, yeah.
And we all have to fill that out?
Yes, so I can go ahead and address that as well. Each of you should have gotten a notice in your email, and if you didn't, actually, I would ask you to please speak with staff, and we'll sort it out because we don't want any messes up there in Tallahassee. You should have each gotten an email with a notice for a Form 1, okay? Form 1s used to be filled out on paper and then submitted to the Supervisor of Elections office. It's very easy, very convenient. Nowadays, everything is online. It just started this year. So unfortunately, you all are caught in the unfortunate circumstances of you're getting done with your work, but you've got to fill out one of these forms yet again here, and you've got to do it electronically. So if you've received that email, it's not a spam. It is from the state. Go ahead and create an account. Fill out that information. Form 1s are not incredibly onerous in the information they ask for. Form 6s that county commissioners have to fill out are much more onerous. But go ahead and fill that out. With regard to any of that, if you all have any questions, you're welcome to call me as well. I'm glad to help you out with it.
Thank you.
Just for everyone's good, I waited more than 14 days to accept that invitation, and it expired, so I had to call the Commission on Ethics. Yeah, and then they will just send it to you again. So just let you know if you haven't started the application yet, you have 14 days to accept it.
And who do you call?
The Commission on Ethics.
The Commission on Ethics, and
Yeah.
they have a telephone number on that.
They don't know what you're talking about. I talked to one today and asked them questions about how to get the Form 1. She asked me 1,000,001 questions. She says, well, I'm not sure what you're talking about. I said, well, you think I need to just call the county office and find out? She said, I suggest you do that. So that 850 number? No.
Oh, dear.
Okay, we'll have to do our best with that.
I'll call you.
Member
I would encourage getting it done quickly because this is the first year the Form 1s go out to literally thousands of people who've never had to do it electronically before. And I would not want to be near that office anytime in June.
They said before June. If you can you should get it in prior to June.
Actually, it's June 30th.
Yeah,
What was the date?
the deadline is prior to July
don't
1st.
know.
But as it gets closer to that deadline, they're going to stop answering their phones, is what I'm telling you, because there are going to be thousands of people in the same predicament. So I'd suggest just sort it out real quick and be done with it.
What was the date those emails were sent out? Because I didn't get one.
Don't know. It's not sent out by the county. It's sent out by the State Commission on Ethics.
State of Florida sent it out?
State of Florida sent it
I want to
out.
say it was around May 2nd or 3rd.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I filled mine out. I actually called somebody in Tallahassee because I had a question about financial disclosure, and they answered the question. So it's fairly simple. You set up a username, password, but if you need to call somebody, they'll answer the basic question. So it's not that. It's 15 minutes at most. So get it
Member-
done, because if
Member
not,
Bremer?
it's a
I'm
penalty.
sorry.
I guess it would depend upon how much property you own.
Right.
No, talk that talk. Yes, you're right. How many spaces you need?
How many affordable houses you built?
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, while we're asking questions of council, could you just clarify what us as members of the CRC are able to do after the CRC in terms of talking with the public and educating them, or even advocating for things that are on the ballot? I'm a little unclear on that.
Sure, outstanding question, and you all have discussed it briefly before, so I'll just go ahead and explain and amplify what I've heard concerning it. So with regard to each one of the members of the CRC is fully permitted to go out and advocate for or against any of the charter amendments that are going on the ballot. The one thing that I would urge to each of you is that you should be clear when you're communicating with the public. You share that you were or are a member of the 2024 Orange County Charter Review Commission. Please share that you are sharing your own views and not the views of the full CRC. You do that, everything's on good ground, because you still have your full First Amendment rights to be able to go share your opinions on all those things and to advocate for or against.
Thank you. Member Nguyen?
Oh, I've said.
Okay, and Member Della Patello, you
I spoke, thank you.
Okay, thank you. The other cleanup item is later today we will have a hearing, we will have a vote by the Sustainable Growth Cleanup Committee concerning the rural boundary. This is not a public hearing. However, if there's anyone in the public that would like to speak on it, they will be asked to speak during the public comments. We're going to open the meeting now for public comments. Do we have any cards?
Thank you, Chair. I have 5 cards so far.
Thank you. They should have 3 minutes each.
The first 3 speakers are Val Mobley, Alan Beck, and Nelson Betancourt. If you'll please come to the podium and state your name and address for the record.
Thank you. I recognized her earlier.
Yeah.
If you would you like comments? Yes, ma'am. Okay, immediately after this speaker, thank you.
Val Mobley, 226 West King Street, Orlando, 32804. I feel like I was just here, because we were, and I'm here to tell you that the will of the people should not be circumvented. And the will of the people has been abundantly clear in the last meeting in this chamber with all of y'all, that they want a rural boundary on the ballot. Quite frankly, I, as a citizen, don't care how it gets on the ballot, if this body does it or if the BCC does it. It doesn't matter to me. What matters is that the people get a right to voice their opinion. That's what democracy is all about. That's why we go and vote on all the given days that we're supposed to vote. So I know that there's hesitation to put it on the ballot from this body because you think you've been preempted. Well, he hasn't signed it yet, so you're not preempted yet. So I would say to you today to please think about your constituents, the people that showed up en masse to talk to you the last time, that we want a chance to vote. I don't even live in the rural part of the county, but it's important to me. We want the chance to vote. And if it does end up being a lawsuit, well, how many lawsuits have we, the people, paid for in this state over the years that we had no say in whatsoever? You know, laws get passed in Tallahassee and they're unconstitutional and there's a lawsuit. And even though the legislators know it's unconstitutional, there's a lawsuit, but yet our Attorney General defends it and we pay the bill. All of us pay the bill. So I don't see how that's any different than if this gets on the ballot through you and there's a lawsuit, I would be glad to pay my portion of that lawsuit. Please put this on the ballot tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Alan Beck. Oh,
Let's
sorry.
with the commissioner. Mr. Beck? Mr. Beck, we'll let the commissioner go, and then we'll go to you next.
Yeah, I need to get back to doing my public records requests. So I just wanted to come and quickly state that we're going to hear the issue of the rural boundary on June 4th to decide as a board whether we're going to put it on the ballot or not. I mean, at this point, I'm thinking just leave it to the Board of County Commissioners because, you know, of all the legal issues, and I think it'll just be the easiest way to get it done. And you all have already sent it over there with your approval, so, you know, I think we're good to go, really. So thanks for all the work you've done, though. I really appreciate it. You guys have worked hard. Those financial disclosures, oh my gosh, have fun. If you do your budgeting, though, it's really not that bad. So, you know, just, for me, it gives me an excuse to keep my budget up to date every year. So, you know, thank you again for all the work you do. And I look forward to seeing some of you do it again in another 4 years. Yay. All right, thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner.
When did she say that, Commissioner?
And Chairman, just so folks aren't concerned, county commissioners have to file what are called Form 6s, which are very detailed. So I can imagine you all have to file Form 1s, which are a lot less detailed. So it'll be in a better spot.
Thank you.
Alan Beck.
When did they say they're going to have it?
What was the date that it's going to be heard before the board? June 4th.
Really? That's it?
I just want to thank the folks who have already talked about putting the rural boundary on the November 2024 ballot. I'm also here to speak in favor of having that done. I'd like to thank you folks here as the commissioners for what you have done in Orange County that was not done in South Florida, where we've lived up here for 15 years, most of our life. Before that in Miami, South Florida. And the development that went on in South Florida is just, we were attracted to what you have up here. And the respect you see in the parks and the forest areas, the protected areas. And now they're talking about the Split Oak situation. We have these protected areas. We need to connect the people with our environment. We live right off Conway Road, Conway and Judge. Across the road from us was a forest area, a former dairy farm. Mature oak trees just bulldozed, warehouses. The lighting from the warehouses comes across the street into a very nice residential area. I think they're toning the lights down from the warehouses, but the wildlife has come into our area. I mean, it's just, a quality of life. Do we want a paved blacktop cement that they have in South Florida, or are we going to try and have an integrated environmental development plan? And I urge you to put the rural boundary on the November 2024 ballot and let the people decide. I know Tallahassee has a way of going around what the ballot says anyway and going around the will of the people. They've done it again and again, but let them hear our voice. And you've got the quality of life here. I hate to see it disappearing. And it's disappearing fast, as most of you. I think a lot of you are probably born here, and you've seen it. So I just speak for that. And thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, sir, give us your name, and we didn't get your name for the record.
Address.
Mr. Betancourt, your name and address. I missed that request.
Sure. Nelson Betancourt, 5350 Scaly Street, Orlando, Florida, 32812. First of all, I want to show much gratitude to all of you for spending 18 months of your life doing this. This is what citizenship is about, and I really, really appreciate it very much. Not only the opportunity to receive an incredible education about civic life and citizenship. I wouldn't have missed it for a box of biscuits. This has been amazing. This has been an amazing education. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the time, energy, and treasure that you probably put out of your own pockets to do this. But I am, of course, as I said before, that I'm very much for putting the rural boundary initiative on the ballot in November. But let me give you some new information. According to the Florida Center for Landscape Conservation Planning, by the year 2070, according to them, there are two ethos that we need to take a look at in Florida. One is the urban sprawl, which is the one that we had here going on for a long time, and the new ethos, there should be a conservation ethos. Under the urban sprawl ethos, Florida will lose 3.5 million acres of rural land, an area about the size of Connecticut, if we continue on this urban sprawl ethos. If Florida adopts a compact development ethos, the state would still lose 2 million acres, but 40% less than the sprawl scenario. I mean, that's still a lot of land to lose, especially if you care about farming and the quality of food. And I very much care for that. So, and that would be about the size of Rhode Island if we lose 2 million acres. So the reason I mentioned that is that you all have also adopted the transportation initiative here to put this commission, Transportation Commission. And that's important because I think that transit-oriented housing is going to be the wave of the future. It is being, in Colorado, I suggest that some of you take a look at the new laws that are being passed in the state of Colorado that are going to make it they're going to be ahead of the curve in dealing with this not only affordable housing issue, but also marrying transportation and housing together. Thank you very much. And
thank you very much.
God bless all of you. Thank you.
The last two speaker cards are Kelly Simrod and Bobby Beagles.
Thank you, Kelly Simrod, 3111 Amalfi Drive, Orlando, Florida, 32820. I'm here tonight, you guys, just to thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. This entire process, Chair Hardage, I mean, you made it light, you made it enjoyable, but you made it fair.
Thank you.
As I feel like all of you did. You listened to constituents, and you know what? You guys are all advocates for this process. And I get what advocacy is about because you work, you have a wife, you have a partner, you have a husband, you have kids, you've got grandkids, you've got a job, you've got a house to take care of, and probably at 11 o'clock at night, you're opening up your CRC email to start something that's going to take you into the wee hours of the morning. And I want to thank you for your commitment, for recognizing what the people were fighting for.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
You are welcome. I have a concern. We went to the BCC, the last meeting, and we had the chair of the Sustainability Committee, Eric Grimmer, read the report, and we're on the BCC agenda for June 4th. We anticipate, because we have quite a few people coming out, that the mayor will likely reduce our time to 1 minute. He also won't let people donate a minute when we have a large amount of people coming out. And sometimes he limits the public speaking time to only an hour in the 9 a.m. session. That's concerning because we're trying to get an initiative here from citizens on the ballot that while you guys honored and protected the democracy process in Orange County, the state violated and stripped our rights away from us in terms of amending our own county constitution. So we're going before the mayor. We have a lot of people coming. We probably get 1 minute, maybe only 60 minutes to speak. And in the last meeting, he indicated that when it was the sales tax initiative going on the ballot, that they did hundreds of community meetings and alluded to the fact that this may not have enough time to make it to the ballot. I'm concerned that the clock is going to be run out on the people, and I'm not sure that the BCC fully understands the amount of outreach, the amount of research, the amount of deliberation and discussion that has occurred within the subcommittee as well as this entire committee. You were all appointed by either the mayor or the district commissioners, and I just have one last request. Please reach out to them, and please ask them to put this to vote for the people. Let them know that we're fighting, and we fought real hard to get here. It took a decade of work to get this here. So to be preempted by the state and to be forced to go a different route, I tell you, we're going to show up in full force, but there's a really good chance that the people will not prevail. And I think that's a sorry shame that we let the state preempt the citizens of Orange County and strip our constitutional right to amend our county constitution as we see fit. I also just want to thank you for staying strong with us, always listening to us, and by certain, always showing up. We never saw absent chairs here. You guys committed, and everybody may disagree and agree on some topics, but you were all here, so thank you.
Thank you.
I will try my best not to give you extra work tonight.
Yeah, right.
First of all, I want to thank y'all for doing the job you're doing.
Thank you.
It only takes 10 of you to pass the rural boundary, and we'll be happy
I'm sorry,
in
Mr.
East
Bills.
Orange County.
I've been reminded that I didn't, because we know you, I forgot to ask you your name and your address.
Do what?
Give me your name and your address. I know it sounds redundant, but we need it.
Your name and address. I'm sorry.
Give us your name and address.
Hold that for 40 years, okay. Bobby Biggles, 21302 Fort Christmas Road, Christmas, Florida.
Yeah.
I figured after 40 years, you know me.
We do.
Now, get back to where I was at. I want to thank y'all for fast work of what we found last week. Thank you very much. I hated to stand here and say what I said, but as being a person who has represented agriculture for over 40 years, I don't need no more court cases. And that's probably what would have happened if it would have went on. And I know y'all don't want no more court cases. We in East Orange County support this rural boundary due to the fact we do not want more growth. My parents bought that 100 acres in 1950. My 9-year-old grandson is already in the cow business. And we want to stay that way. But we keep getting pushed further and further out because of growth. We also get pushed further and further out because of filling in and water. I drove a two-wheel vehicle all over 100 acres after Hurricane Donna. Today, I have to go with my four-wheel drive tractor in most places due to the fact that water has been pushed east. My well is 225 foot deep to get good water. Most of the wells out there is 100. But I have perfect water. And when it gets down to this, we just need enough of votes to get this thing to the ballot. And that's all we ask, is enough of votes to get it to the ballot. And once it gets to the ballot, we feel most surely that there's enough of people that will support us because they're all tired of the traffic, delays. So what you can do, we will appreciate your help.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience who did not fill out a card who would like to speak? We have one person. Please come forward, give us your name and address, and then fill out a card with the clerk.
My name is Xiomara Fernandez. I live at 225 East New Hampshire Street, Orlando, Florida, 32804. I've been a resident here for about 25, nearly 30 years. I've watched it grow. It's beautiful. I love it here. My son is 17 years old. Yeah. And Orlando is our home. I see my son give up hope because of the environment around him is failing him over and over again. We need to be that vessel that lays hope that we are able to look at our infrastructure and work on it. Don't make it cheap. Don't cut corners. Stay true to the ethics of what we've been fighting for. I remember taking camping just in the middle of winter because of the fracking that was coming through. I can't be here because I'm a mom. I wish I can be here and listen to this time and time again and be able to voice what not only am I concerned about, but my child is concerned about, and my friends and their families. And we are family. We are Orlando, and that's what we stand for. And we should look into that and look at what we're creating in the space when it comes to our land development, the environment around us, the resources available. Like, we need to put our money back into these infrastructures to rebuild what we already have. Stop cutting corners into places that we've already said no to. We've already said no. And that should be respected, because that's what we deserve in this world, is respect. And the more respect that we give ourselves is the more respect that we can give to our children and our children's children, because that's what they deserve. I yield my time.
Thank you very much. Staff, take care of getting a card for me. Thank you for your comments. We appreciate you all. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of May 8th and May 20th. Move for both? The motion is to approve both the 8th and the 20th. Seconded by Member Harris, motion by Member Nguyen. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
So approved. The final item on the agenda tonight is the Sustainable Growth Charter Cleanup Committee Rural Boundary. There will be no discussion. We've had 2 public hearings as required by our charter. We'll discuss this, and I don't think we need any more comments from the attorney, but essentially the point we're at now is we're near preemption by the state. But that's not the total concern. The other concern is that the county's ordinance pretty much handcuffs this board as to what direction we can go. And it pretty much, and it gives the right to set this boundary to the county commission. We'll ask for some brief comments by Chair Grimmer, and then the board will take a vote.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It seems fitting that we end this 2024 Charter Review Commission with more conversation about the rural boundary, which I think we can all agree was the most discussed and controversial of all the big topics we considered as a commission. By a brief recap, at our last meeting, we discussed newly discovered legal concerns about the CRC's ability to pass a rural boundary charter amendment in any form because of state preemptions. We considered passing the baton to our Board of County Commissioners who are not encumbered by state statute. Ultimately, by a 13-1 vote, the CRC voted to recommend the Board of County Commission place a version of the rural boundary that we've been calling Exhibit B on the ballot in November. That recommendation is reflected in the draft version of the final report that we're going to consider later tonight. We heard from District 5 County Commissioner Emily Bonilla, who stated that she had requested consideration of a rural boundary charter amendment at the following day's BCC meeting as a non-agenda item, and asked supporters of the proposal to attend the meeting. At the County Commission meeting on May 21st, Mayor Jerry Demings declined Commissioner Bonilla's request to discuss the rural boundary charter amendment, stating that it did not meet the requirements set forth of board policy for a non-agenda item. So we're back here tonight with very little information than we had last week. Is there an appetite on the Board of County Commission to place a rural boundary on the ballot and let the people of Orange County decide? Absolutely. But does that appetite amount to 5 yes votes of the BCC? That's unclear. This has been a difficult decision for me as a passionate supporter of our need for our rural boundary as some sort of check on destructive suburban sprawl. I have fought and used whatever mental acuity I have to think of some way to get this on the ballot. But as a member of the CRC, I feel a great deal of responsibility. For me, that responsibility includes not only considering ways to improve how our county government functions and how we can improve the lives of Orange County residents, but also the consequences that could result from any actions that we take. That feeling of responsibility increased further when Chair Hardage appointed me chair of the Sustainable Growth and Charter Cleanup Committee. He entrusted me to lead the committee, fully explore all the issues assigned to us, and make recommendations based on sound legal and policy considerations. To aid in reaching those considerations, I was thankful to have the assistance of our counsel, Mr. Vos, who has a wealth of experience in Florida municipal law and helped Alachua County draft their growth management charter amendment that informed our work. Based on his legal advice and my responsibility to do right by the people of Orange County, tonight, again, I cannot make a motion for the CRC to put any version of the rural boundary on the November 2024 ballot. That is not based on a fear of litigation, which was all but guaranteed when we're considering an issue of this magnitude. It is litigation with dubious prospects for success that the people of Orange County as taxpayers will have to shoulder the burden of funding. But the fight is not over for me or for supporters of the rural boundary. The Board of County Commissioners will be discussing a potentially board-led charter amendment of the rural boundary this coming Tuesday morning. You can join us at 9 a.m. on Tuesday, June 4th. Fill this room and provide public comments in support of the rural boundary. If you can't make it on Tuesday, you can send emails to the mayor and the Board of County Commissioners and let them know that we need a rural boundary in Orange County. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors. We can still do this, and we can do it together. For the last time, I want to thank the chair and all the board members for their indulgence, my fellow committee members and staff for their hard work and dedication, and the members of the general public who brought a lot of passion on both sides of the issue. So at this time, Chair, I'd like to make a motion for the CRC to take no additional action with regard to placing a rural boundary charter amendment on the 2024 ballot.
The chair second the motion. Motion by Member Grimmer, seconded by the chair. We're now open for discussion by the board. Seeing none, we'll...
There's, I think, Member O'Neill.
Member O'Neill, then Member Scardo.
Mr. Chair, would it be appropriate for this commission to pass a resolution urging in the strongest possible words that the mayor especially and the county commission pass this Exhibit B in whole without change?
The question is it appropriate? I think the real question is, can we do it? The answer to the question of can we do it, the answer is yes. The question is, should we do it? The probably answer is no. I just don't think we have the authority to tell the duly elected officials of Orange County what to do. So I would be opposed to that. I think that we've already sent our most strongest recommendation to the board. We made a vote at our last meeting, and we asked the Chair Grimmer to make that presentation to the Board of County Commissioners, which he's done, and he's essentially made the exact same resolution that you're asking us to pass. He's made that presentation to the board. So to do something different, I think would go beyond our responsibility. Our responsibility is clear: to review county government, review its charter, review all the departments, and make recommendations for ballot initiatives. And that does not include telling the county commissioners what to do. So that would be my opinion. Member Vice Chair Shire, and then Member Nguyen.
I have a few comments that I'd like to make relative to the urban core and the line. Number one, I don't think we've brought the cities in on this issue, and I would recommend the next Charter Study Commission reach out to the cities and get their comments on what we're doing to them, because they are part of our community. Number two, I'd like to see the county commission develop a master plan for our community, not just split it in half where you have urban and rural, but yet a ecological development going forward. And because I'm not doing it for myself or anybody on this board, because when all these people come to Orange County and the state of Florida, they're going to want to live somewhere. And we just can't put up walls at a certain specific area. And I think that West Orange County did the right thing in the master plan in Horizons West. And there are probably some problems with Horizons West. However, they could be fixed going forward. You learn from your mistakes, in transportation especially. And that way, it would give everybody the right to speak up about, not just closing the door for anybody living in the rural or urban communities. That's dividing our community, and I don't think we should be doing that. I think we should be working together to provide for the growth that's coming. And, Orange County is one of the strongest growing counties in the state. So be prepared. It's coming whether the rural people like it or not, it's coming. So we have to have, room for that growth. And urban sprawl keeps on coming up. And I haven't seen any numbers or figures that it cost us more money to go into the, taking urban sprawl into the rural areas, because the county commission is obligated to make sure that growth pays for itself. And if they're not doing the job, we can't help it. But most likely that we didn't have that urban line, and the county really got on top of charging the developers in the rural area to come in and develop, that they have to pay for sewer, water, paving, and drainage, and they have to pay for roads. So, if it's a cost factor that everybody's concerned about, the master plan, like Horizons West, has open parks, it's got parkways, it's got, a lot of the urban areas in the rural area there. And last but not least, getting back to the municipalities, there's got to be some provisions made for the municipalities to expand, because that's how they, if you know anything about budgets and the cost of government, if you're not growing, you're dying. And I've been involved with the county commission, obviously, on the budget, and we look forward to that extra money every year that we get from ad valorem taxes, so that we can pay our employees more money and pay for their health and welfare of the community that we service. And you got to look at the total picture in terms of what you're saying. I understand that you are looking at your area, but this is a community of Orange County, not just the rural and urban community. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Member Staccato, Member Nguyen. Actually, I skipped him. He was with next to he and O'Neill have the same button. I'm just trying to.
Ladies first, if she wants to go.
No, you go and then she goes.
No, if he wants me to go, I'll go.
You can go. You can go. I'll be a gentleman.
Oh, I appreciate that so very much.
Okay, whoever's going to go.
It took 18 months.
She's my friend.
Yes.
Okay.
I just have a question.
Member Nguyen.
I have a question that I don't quite understand. I know Commissioner Bonilla says she was taking it to the county commission, and it's on the on the agenda for the 4th. What if that doesn't pass at the county commission level? What happens now?
I'm going to try to answer that, and then we'll ask legal if I don't get it right. Vice Chair said it would be dead. It's the board of county commissioners has within their purview an ordinance that says they have the responsibility to set this boundary the way we're trying to do it. So if they decide to vote it up, it goes on the ballot. If they decide to vote it down, it does not go on the ballot.
Okay, thanks.
Member Staccato?
Okay, since Tuesday, I'll probably be limited to 1 minute and probably won't get to talk because there will be too many people. So I'm going to repeat some stuff and just put it on the record what we did. As a member of that committee and all the committees, we did 15 meetings in that committee. The first 9 of them, we banged out the initial language. We came in February thinking, hey, we got it. Winter Garden, Ed back there, he informed us, and others, Ocoee, Apopka, they all came and talked to us about what we had done wrong. We went back for 6 more meetings. And this is for the people watching at home, too. We did 6 more meetings, and we fixed it. And I think we did our dangest to make the rural bounty defined to be only the rural bounty and exclude all the agreements that the county has done over the years with all the cities. So I think that is good. So we've done that part. This is an answer. My intention, when Kelly had put this forward last year, almost a year ago, and we started working on this, my main thing was Vision 2050 has a vision that how we shall grow. And we've done this before 20 years ago, and we didn't grow that way. This is the second attempt of how shall we grow the Vision 2050. And if we don't get this right, it's over. So I saw this attempt of a rural boundary to be very important to push through, because if we are going to be successful with Vision 20, if the BCC wants to be, and this is directly to them, if they want to be successful with Vision 2050, they need tools. We did the fiscal, thank you. We also need the Vision 2050, the rural boundary. The rural boundary gives them the tool set to say to cities like the city of Orlando, which is going crazy right now, and annexing on the east side, ability to say, no, we are going to retain the land use over that land of the rural boundary area, the rural areas. You can annex, but we're going to maintain the land use of ag or whatever it presently is today. We know there's development pressure. We know cities supposedly have to grow, but that means also up. An example would be the city of Winter Park. I grew up in Winter Park. They do piecemeal annexations. They do annex. An acre here, a quarter acre there. It's very selective, just like Winter Springs did when the Seminole County did it back in 24. They strategically annexed a few parcels. Winter Park's doing the same. Believe me, Winter Park is doing very financially well. Their housing stock is hugely increasing. People are buying multi-million-dollar homes, knocking them down, and building more expensive homes. I grew up there. I can't afford to live there anymore. So this stuff about you have to grow out in the sprawl, does it pay for itself? Citizens, it doesn't. We're $22 billion in the hole. It's not paying for itself. So ultimately, we're preempted. We tried. Believe me, we tried. I wanted this to go to you guys. This would have been the 9th thing that we had done. We didn't get the chance because our gerrymandering of our state legislature has put a selective group of people out there that do not answer to the voters, but answer to a very select group of pre-designed districts. So we are subjected to a preemption, and we cannot move forward as a CRC. We did the only thing we could is pass it to the BCC. The BCC has to pass this as unaltered Exhibit B as we have written it. We have spent hundreds of hours of work over the past year on this. We have 4 attorneys, including our counsel Voss. They did an excellent job, and Chuck and I and others who are just normal citizens, we did our part on this too. As a committee, we worked our tails off trying to get this language right. So please, on Tuesday, I hope that if the commissioners are listening and the mayor, please just make it simple, pass it to the voters, let them vote on this.
Thank you very much, Member Staccato. See the queue is clear. I'm going to call for questions on the motion. Is there a motion for question? Is there a second?
Second.
Question has been called on the main motion. We will now take a vote on the main motion. The main motion is to take no action. All in favor of taking no action?
Chair, just so everyone's clear, are we voting on the main motion, or are we voting on cutting off debate?
Call the question first. All in favor of calling for question, signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay?
Chair, can you announce the maker and the seconder?
The maker of the motion was the chair. The second was?
The call question.
The call the question was Member Eric. I made the motion to call for question. Member Grimmer seconded the motion.
Thank you.
And now we are going to have a vote on the main motion, which is to take no action. All in favor of the main motion signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed by nay.
Nay.
The nay vote is Member Arias. The motion carries. I just want to thank the committee. You all did a great job of going through all the hearings and trying our best to bring this to the ballot. But some things we just fall short of our goals. Okay, at this point, that concludes our agenda except for member comments. This is our final meeting unless we get called back.
Chair, we do have one important thing, the big thing.
Yes.
Need to approve the final report.
Approve the final report.
Yes, Chairman.
And the attorney and I have gone back and forth over this at least twice, but the consensus was that we would include all the reports of all the committees as well as any information presented at the podium by the committee chairs, that it would include copies of our bylaws, of course, copies of our membership. It seems to me there was something else.
Those are some of the main things, Chairman. In addition, included in the final report prepared for you all are a number of additional pieces of information that have traditionally been in the final reports of the CRC going all the way back to the 80s. So information organized in that standard format is all put together in the final report here for you.
Okay, and that's going to be made available digitally for the public?
That's right.
Is it complete?
So, Chairman, yeah, I was going to address that. There are little chicken and egg matters that come with getting in stuff from the last meeting and so on. So I was going to suggest in a second a motion for someone who would want to make the motion to approve the final report, that the final report be approved with the addition of a summary prepared by staff and approved by the chair for this meeting, minutes prepared by staff and approved by the chair for this meeting, and direction and authorization to staff to correct any Scrivener's errors that may be found in the final report.
So moved. Second.
Moved by member Prophet, seconded by member Nguyen. We have a motion and a second. We have questions by Chair Shira.
Just a quick question, legal question. When we adopt this document, the people who voted for or against, will that be represented here, or will it be represented as we've approved everything?
Yeah, so I would offer to you that based on your rules of procedure that you adopted, your adoption of this final report is, or the vote on this final report is a vote approving that this is a memorialization of what you've done.
It's not an approval of
It's
of each individual activity.
I would offer to you that if a given member voted against a particular charter amendment and so on, voting for this is indicating just this is an accurate report of what the Charter Review Commission did, not necessarily an endorsement of a particular amendment.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? I see Member Staccato.
Yeah, just a quick question. Did we have any updates that lessons learned on the, this was the first council that we actually did bylaws. Did we were we happy as an organization with those? And, you know, as the guy who pushed it back in 2020, I want to make sure that we did lessons learned.
The recommendation that I made to staff, and if someone has a better one, they're welcome to it, was that we include the bylaws. It's up to each individual charter commission as to whether or not they want bylaws or don't. We made adjustments to the one, and I really appreciate you bringing that issue before the board, and we made the right decision to modify them and vote them in. But it's up to each charter commission as to whether they would like bylaws or not like them. But I think that the way they work for us, I really believe that in the future they're going to carry forward.
So we did.
But in terms of us making a recommendation for the next Charter Review Commission, I would think we should not do that. Actually, I was asked that question by staff, but I don't think we should carry forth recommendations to the next board. They're going to be just as intelligent as we are, and they're going to have this full report. But I did ask that all of the committee reports be included, and then plus, in addition to that, all of the minutes will automatically be available through the clerk's office. So they'll have a great record, but to tell them what to do would be a bridge too far.
How long would will this be actually on the website? Are we going to, will it come down after 24 or how, as a historical website?
Let me answer one piece, and I'll let staff address the rest of it. So one piece, presuming that history goes on as it has since the 80s, the final report that you're approving tonight will be incorporated into what's called the Charter Review Commission notebook. Mm-hmm. It's a single document up well over 1,000 pages now, starting all the way back from the Charter Study Commission way back when, of all key documents relating to different amendments to the charter, primarily work from the Charter Review Commission and so on. As to additional records concerning it, I'll turn it over to Comptroller staff.
Historically, the Comptroller's Office, we've maintained the Charter Review History Notebook as well as the CRC final reports.
Thank you, and I can just say from experience on the board, unbeknownst to you all, like occasionally I've asked staff or legal to brief me on what happened in previous boards. So I think the next chair would do the same thing. So a lot of it may look as if I was super intelligent, and I am, of course, but no. No, but actually I use history as a guide, and it worked for us. Okay, thank you. Seeing that there are no other questions, the attorney has made recommendations to add to the motion, and I think they're all appropriate.
They were incorporated into the motion, yes.
So all in favor of the motion, please signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed by nay? The review final report is approved. Now we're going to open it up for final comments and then a motion for adjournment. I'm going to start the comments. And I just want to share that this is the first openly public event that I've done since I was on the board, and I came off, I think, 2022. And I've generally turned down all requests for this kind of work because it's just hard. and I've had a lot of birthdays. But I truly am glad that I accepted this. You all are actually a stellar group of community servants, and I have truly enjoyed working with each and every one of you. I mean, truly enjoyed it. Not only have I enjoyed it, it's been I call it a growth point in my development in my career. So I appreciate you all. You all have had great points. You've made corrections. You've deleted things. You voted for. You voted against. But all in all, we came up with a product that serves the public of Orange County. And when we had our press conference, it was one question that was asked about there being too many items on the ballot. And I was proud to say that every single item that we placed on the ballot was generated by the public. Every single item. So that's quite an accomplishment for this board. I just want to congratulate you all. Thank you all very much. Member Riley?
That was me.
Member Prophet?
So I want to publicly thank Nelson Bentoncourt. I would like to name you an unofficial member of the CRC.
Let's do it.
Thank you. Your commitment has been commendable and honorable, and so I just want to say thank you. You've come to every meeting. You came to the committee meetings, and it's just been a beautiful thing to see. I know you came up here and said thank you, and I've learned so much, but I've learned so much from you. So and everybody, all of the public that are here, thank you for coming, but I see Nelson everywhere. So thank you, Nelson. And yes, give it up for Nelson. And just, it's been a pleasure working with each of you. I came to this process very ignorant, not really understanding it, and I have learned so much. I'm very proud to have worked along aside each of you, and we will remain family. I will keep sending Christmas cards, and I love you all. Thank you so much. And Chair Hardage, you made this process so easy.
Thank you.
As easy as it could be. And so I appreciate you. I appreciate your fairness. I appreciate your diligence. I appreciate all the work that you did behind the scenes. Thank you for entrusting me with making me a chair.
Yes,
I am
thank you.
forever grateful for this opportunity and exposure. So thank you all, and it's been great. Woohoo!
Yes. Member Riley?
I think I echo the same sentiments that you've already said. For me, it's been a real interesting experience to see the county from a different side of operations. 18 and a half years actually working for the BCC is very different than sitting on this side and looking at our entire charter, our constitution. It's been an interesting process. I've learned a lot, and I also believe that, of course, I got to know Chair Hardage a bit when he was commissioner and I came to Orange County. And I saw in this process the same thing I saw in him as a commissioner, and that was someone that was fair, very thoughtful, and also very thought-provoking in how he manages and processes things that he's responsible for doing. I think that this was actually managed in a very fair way, and is probably the best it could. And I think that the comments from our citizens echo exactly how much they appreciated how the chair as well as us as members moved through this process. And to my committee chair, thank you so much for the way that you led our committee on our ever-growing number of issues that we had to take a look at. And I think that I gained a lot of education in that process. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Are we going around the board, Mr. Cardo, and then Member O'Neill?
I second what they said. This is an educational thing for the citizens and also us who are citizens. Also, we had the pleasure to serve the citizens. This is the most direct connection to democracy that we have, I know, in really this country. Because, we take input from you guys, and then we study it, and then get inputs from you guys, and then we rewrite it and then get comments from you guys, and then we produce this stuff. And the people who don't believe government is effective are people who are not part of government. You can be anywhere in this. I started decades ago talking behind there as a young activist. And after 30 plus years, now I'm sitting here. So people who don't believe that this is a functional system, they need to realize they got to put the time in, because democracy is a full body contact sport. You got to be part of the game and be part of it. And this really shows what democracy is about. No matter where we sit in our beliefs, we work together, we try our best to form something that works. Either we vote it up or vote it down, but it's all ultimately coming from the people of this country/county. So please, people who are disenchanted out there against politics and stuff, get to know your elected officials, get back, understand where they're coming from. And if you don't agree with them, find someone else to run. That's how this works. So, people like us are here because we became part of an activist group, or we are known. So please, I think it's been wonderful. Everyone out there, thank you very much. And it's been a pleasure and a great knowledge gaining thing. And thank you to council, by the way. It's been a very good time working with you, too.
Thank you. Member O'Neill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I do appreciate your fairness, Mr. Chair, even though we may have had passionate discussions at one time or another. But
you think?
But as well as the 14 other members of this commission, one thing that I had said before was we can disagree and not be disagreeable. I think for the members of the public, you've seen just about every facet of representation in this county. I mean, we have every single occupation, age group, et cetera, represented here, and we were able to achieve what I find most incredible is the consequential nature of all 8 amendments that will appear on the charter. I had a great pleasure of speaking with Phil Diamond the other day, and I said, Phil, can you remember a charter review commission that passed 8 charter amendments?
There never has been one.
Never has been one. So it's not just the number, but when I read through them again, I'm like, oh yeah, we did that. Yeah, that's right, and we did that too, and we did that too. So I just want to thank everyone up here, and Mr. Chair, you have my utmost respect, and I look forward to seeing you again in 4 years.
Thank you. Member Grimmer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
And it took 20 meetings for me to get his name correct, so.
I appreciate you going out on top. Don't say it again, Chair.
I'm not going to try again.
Let's just leave it there. This has been one of the great honors of my life to have served on this commission. It's been the most educational thing I have done probably ever, including my formal education. I have learned so much from the members of this board who have been around Orange County longer than I have. And it's been really rewarding to kind of learn that history of how we got to this point, because you can't know where you're going to go or how to get there unless you know how you got to the place you are. So hearing the wealth of experience brought by the members of this board and also members of the public has just been, it's just been a privilege. I want to thank, a huge thanks to Commissioner Gomez Cordero for appointing to me to this. When she asked me to serve, I had never heard of a Charter Review Commission. I didn't know what she was asking me to do, but the commissioner called, and I was willing to serve. And only when people started coming up to me, as word had gotten out that I was going to be on the Charter Review Commission, telling me, oh, what a great honor it was, I became terrified. Like, what did I get myself into? And early on, a couple meetings in, when the chair asked me to chair the at that time the Charter Cleanup Committee, I had no idea why the chair was asking me to do that. Maybe I was just sitting close to him that night. I don't know what the reason was, but of course he asked me to serve. And even though, again, I did vote against it initially, creating that committee, I did eventually serve, and we saw what it became. And this has just been an amazing experience. And I want to thank everyone on this board, all the members of the public for being here. And I want to echo especially like Eugene's comments. Like this is how you can really be a part of the process. And you can affect change in your community. So thank you to everyone. Thank you to this board. And thank you, Mr. Chair, for doing a wonderful job.
Thank you. Vice Chair Sharon?
I too want to add my 2 cents to the board for their hard work. Especially the chairpersons for each of the committees. It's been some 40 years or so that I got elected to this board, back when we had the first Charter Study Commission. And I can tell you, this is the hardest working board that I've served on. And hopefully they double our salary next year. I doubt if they'll do it. Anyhow, I want to thank the members that I served with, and hopefully some good, things will come out of this. If not, it'll leave the next board some direction to follow in terms of what this board had to say. And again, I want to thank the chairman and also thank the mayor for putting me on the board, and I'll shoot him tomorrow about it. but you won't see me in the next one, that's for sure. Thank you.
Thank you. It was an honor to serve with you as vice chair.
Right.
Quite an
Thank
honor.
you.
Thank you. Member Nguyen?
Yes. Thank you, Commissioner and Chair Hardage, for your stellar leadership.
Thank you.
I appreciate all your kindness, your insight, and your guidance. And I'd like to thank the citizens for coming out, letting us know what you want and what you're thinking and what you need us to do for you. And I thank all the members of the committee and the commission. And my idol is Alicia Crawford. She gives me so much energy, and she's just such a ray of sunshine. Every time you see her, she has this great smile, and you can't do anything but say, love her, and thank you. And I want to know that I worked with a couple of these people on the commission before, Staccato and Mr. DePatel, and they were awesome then and now. And we could not have accomplished what we did accomplish without the two ladies sitting over there, Jessica and Jennifer.
Let's give them a hand.
And the guidance from our illustrious attorney boss. And we have done some great things here. Hopefully, everyone took notice, and thank everyone for giving us the time, the energy, and the listening to hear from us and let us hear from you. And I want to say I'm retiring from this board. This is my 4th and last year, and I will not be back. Thank you to everyone.
Thank you. Member Ritchie?
Thank you so much, Chair, and I guess let me start by thanking you, Chair. It's
Thank
been
you.
wonderful. I'm truly humbled by this opportunity. It's just been a wonderful thing. I think back, I moved to Orange County at 10 years old back in 1992. So yes, if you do the math, that means I'll be 42 this year. And in those 32 years or so, it's been, I was 10 when I moved to the country, and the first place I moved here was Orange County. And so I think I've learned so much about government and the American system and the ideals and everything that I thought it would be. And so much of that is really reflected in this board, and how, of that goal, of that ideal of listening to citizens and trying to bring their ideas forward and trying to make sure that those ideas have a voice. And so in whatever way I have had that opportunity to voice that here with all of you, it's just been a humbling experience, and I'm truly thankful for it. I have to thank, of course, Commissioner Gomez-Cordero for this incredible honor. I'm very thankful for the folks out in East Orange County, where I live as well, who've always come forward and made their opinions heard. It's just been a truly wonderful experience. And I'll say, this year will be 18 years this year of practicing law. And I will say that this experience has been some of the most education I've gotten, really. There's nothing quite like serving in a board like this to teach you about how our government actually works and the intricate workings of it. And I'm very thankful to all of you and your guidance and leadership and mentorship through this process. So thank you all so much for this opportunity. And a big shout out again to Mr. Vose. I think I've learned a lot from you in this process as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Member Harris.
In case I forget, ditto everything everyone else said. Thank you. In case I forget, ditto everything else everyone else said. But first I have to thank Commissioner Uribe for giving me the opportunity to serve and appointing me to the commission. Second, I'd like to thank Chair Hardage.
Thank you.
You really are the guiding light for the board, and I've learned quite a bit from you. I'd also like to thank each and every one of the members on the board. It's been an honor, it's been a privilege. I'll never forget the experience, quite the education. If I can be of service of any one of you in the future, please do not hesitate to call. And I have to say that I'm genuinely disappointed that we weren't able to do more. I would have loved to have been able to pass something for the rural boundary. I really would. I listened to y'all. Y'all really touched my heart. And if I could have, I would have waved a magic wand and given you the rural boundary. Thank you for coming out. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Member Weinsberg.
I think you all know I'm an Orlando native, an Orange County native. Grew up in Orange Grove at Silver Star and 441. Love this county and love the city of Orlando and the city of Apopka. And I felt so privileged that Commissioner Moore asked me to serve on this board. I did government communications for 40 years, and I came here with a lot of baked ideas about government because I dealt with a lot of different kinds of government. And with the help of chair and vice chair and the chair of my government structure committee, I've seen a lot of it from a different light. So I found this to be more educational than any of, I was just counting up. I've served on federal, state, and local appointment boards. Obviously, I was a ringer if they needed an appointment, a woman in business, for 28 years in the 40 years in business. And we put in more time, more effort, and we met more citizens that spoke so eloquently with such caring and such fervor about our county and our government that I have never been as impressed as I have been serving on this board. I think we spent a lot of time, and I think we went to the nth degree to do the best that we could. And I just thank all of you for being so gracious with me and to me.
Thank you, Member Della Patella.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First, I want to thank Commissioner Christine Moore for appointing me to this CRC, and it happened at a Christmas party in December of 2022 when she told me, I'm appointing you to the CRC. That was it. Didn't ask me if I could do it. She just simply, I'm appointing you to the CRC. But I want to thank her for this appointment. This is my third time serving on the Charter Review Commission. Chair Hardage, thank you very much for trusting me and appointing me to chair the Government Structure Committee. We worked on some very interesting issues that drew a lot of attention. Thank you to my fellow Government Structure Committee members for the lively discussions and debate that we had over a 10-month period. I want to thank also former Mayor Chapin, former County Attorney Tom Wilkes, former Mayor Teresa Jacobs, current Mayor Jerry Demings, and the County Commissioners and the members of the public, Dr. Semrod, Mr. Betancourt, Mr. Bender, that attended our meetings, that spoke at our meetings. I want to thank them for that as well. Thank you to Jessica and Jennifer and Craig, who filled in while Jessica was having her baby in September. Thank you for all your hard work. We had, a total of 70, our committee met 16 times, and we've met 20 as a full CRC, but I heard that there was a total of 77 meetings in 15 months. That's amazing work. Thank you. Attorney Vos, thank you for your professionalism and your diligence. You did outstanding work, and your fairness as well. I appreciate all of you. I made some new friends on this commission. I look forward to seeing you again in the near future. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you very much. Member Jackson.
Thank you. I also have to start by thanking Commissioner Nicole Wilson. When she first approached me about this wonderful opportunity, I was actually undergoing cancer treatment, and I said, there is no way I can take on something of this magnitude. But if you know Commissioner Wilson, there is no way to say no to her. And I am so glad I didn't. This has been, like Member Grimmer said, one of the most educational experiences of my life. I am so honored to have had this opportunity to sit amongst you all and learn so much. I know I sometimes didn't speak much, but I listened. I listened to what the people wanted. And like Member Arias said, I am also very heartbroken that, we were not able to move forward with the rural boundary. But I think the thing that I'm most proud of is that I can sit with my daughter, who will be 18 next year, and she will be able to finally vote, and show her the sample ballot and say that I had something to do to help get the people's voice heard in the 2024 election. So thank you all.
Thank you. Great comment. Staff, Jennifer. You're surprised.
Who, me?
No, thank you all. It's been a pleasure working with each of you, and we wish you the best in all your future endeavors.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Jessica.
No, thank you all. It's been a pleasure getting to work with some of you all again, and it was a pleasure meeting all of you that I had not met before, and best of luck.
Attorney Voss.
Chairman, thank you very much for your leadership. Members, thank you very much for your incredible hard work, your diligence, your thoughtfulness in all of your meetings, listening to the public. And I think you all have done outstanding work. Thank you all.
Thank you. I'm going to just in final comments. We had a lot of support staff. We want to give you all a hand. Let you know we really appreciate you all. And for the unsung heroes, Craig and my good friend whose name I can never remember, give us your name. Miles. We thank you all. And behind Miles, there is an awesome Orange TV crew. We just want you all to know that you all made our work here very successful, and you gave the public a chance to look through their TVs or their mobile devices to peek in and see what we were doing. So we appreciate you all. Without you all, this could not have happened. All right, Miles, Craig, the rest of you, we appreciate you. And for the public, thanks for staying in there with us, and you made us better. God bless you. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I second.
Motion by Member Arias, seconded by Member Nguyen. We stand adjourned for this commission.